Justin Baldoni accuses Blake Lively, NYT of colluding for months in $400 million lawsuit, laid their trap carefully. The It Ends With Us director's amended counterclaim contains dozens of friendly text messages between the now feuding stars. Justin Baldoni has filed an amended counterclaim that consolidates Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, The New York Times and others as defendants, saying that It Ends With Us star and her PR reps colluded with the newspaper for months to smear the director after a protracted battle over control of the movie turned hostile. Baldoni published his 244 counterclaim, along with a timeline, on a dedicated website on Saturday. The complaint, filed Friday in a New York federal court, includes dozens of texts and other messages between multiple parties, including several examples of friendly, respectful and collaborative missives between Lively and Baldoni, who points out that many were exchanged during the time when Lively later alleged she was sexually harassed. Baldoni is seeking a $400 million payout in compensatory damages, plus whatever the court may award for mental pain and anguish and severe and serious emotional distress. The plaintiffs are Lively, Reynolds, their representative Leslie Sloan and her Vision PR, Inc., and the New York Times. Baldoni had previously sued the Times separately, and filed a counterclaim against Lively. The decision to amend our lawsuit was a logical next step due to the overwhelming amount of new proof that has come to light, Baldoni's lawyer Brian Friedman said in a statement. This fresh evidence corroborates what we knew all along, that due to a blind pursuit of power, Ms. Lively and her entire team colluded for months to destroy reputations through a complex web of lies, false accusations and the manipulation of illicitly received communications. The ongoing public interest in this case online has ironically shed light on the undeniable facts pertaining to the New York Times and how heavily Ms. Lively and her representatives were not only deeply involved in the attempted takedown and smear campaign of Mr. Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios and their teams but that they themselves initiated it. The lawsuit says Lively, Reynolds, her publicist and Jones among other, set out on a campaign to tar and feather the Wayfarer parties in the press. They conspired and worked in concert with the New York Times. The Lively parties laid their trap carefully over a period of months before springing it all at once on the eve of the winter holidays. According to the lawsuit, with text messages as evidence, the two got along well until production began, when Baldoni says Lively began making minute-by-minute changes to things like dialogue, her character's wardrobe and other tweaks that were disruptive and upsetting to the production crew. She began to making minute-by-minute changes to things like dialogue, her character's wardrobe and other tweaks that were disruptive and upsetting to the production crew. She began to inappropriately request to see dailies, submitted rewritten script pages and at one point even made her own partial cut of the film, despite that part of the process not being in her purview. The news comes only 2 days before a preliminary hearing to address Lively's request for a gag order, and days after a 6-minute voice note of Baldoni apologizing to Lively was released. In the undated memo, Baldoni apologizes from calling Lively at 2 a.m. and adds, "I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest, and I'm going to FK up. I am going to say the wrong thing. I am going to put my foot in my mouth," Baldoni continued. "I am going to piss you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. I am sorry I made you feel that way." Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni in December. She accused Baldoni of sexual harassment, an unconscionable smear campaign against the actress and breach of contract. The suit also claims causes of retaliation, aiding and abetting harassment and retaliation, intentional and negligence infliction of emotional distress and false light invasion of privacy. The lawsuit followed Lively's December 20 sexual harassment complaint against Baldoni. Documents obtained by the New York Times reveal a group meeting was held to address Lively's concern, and that her husband, actor Ryan Reynolds, also attended. The topics discussed reportedly included no more showing nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife to BL and/or her employees, no more mention of Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath's alleged previous pornography addiction, or BL's lack of pornography consumption to BL or to other crew members, as well as no further discussions to BL and/or her employees about personal experiences with sex. Lively's lawsuit counters depictions of a January 4 meeting with prominent members of It Ends With Us team drawn in Baldoni's New York Times suit. Lively's husband Reynolds was in attendance because the meeting was about alleged sexual harassment and other disturbing behavior by Baldoni and Wayfarer CEO Jamie Heath. Attendees also included Lively, Baldoni, Heath, Sony Pictures Entertainment's Ange Janetti and It Ends With Us producers Alex Sachs and Todd Black. On January 27, both Lively vs. Wayfarer Studios cases were consolidated and a trial date was set for March 9, 2026. A preliminary hearing for Lively's request for a gag order was moved up to February 3. Justin Baldoni has escalated his legal battle by filing an amended $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times. The lawsuit alleges that Lively and the New York Times colluded to defame Baldoni, spreading misleading narratives that damaged his career and personal reputation. The dispute originally began during the production of It Ends With Us, where Lively accused Baldoni of fostering a hostile work environment. Baldoni first responded with a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the New York Times, arguing that the publication knowingly published false claims to support Lively's accusations. He contends that the article omitted crucial context and relied on manipulated evidence. Following this, Baldoni expanded his legal action, accusing Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan of defamation, civil extortion, and invasion of privacy. He claims they orchestrated a campaign to ruin his public image and career. In an unusual move, Baldoni also launched a website where he shared texts and documents, including messages from Ryan Reynolds that appeared to contradict Lively's claims. This suggests that Reynolds had once spoken positively about Baldoni, potentially undermining the accusations. The legal battle has become highly publicized, with both sides accusing each other of media manipulation. The case is set to go to trial in 2026, making it one of the most high-profile celebrity lawsuits in recent years. Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, a deep dive. Actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni has significantly escalated his legal battle with actress Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, accusing them of defamation, civil extortion, and invasion of privacy. The lawsuit, which now seeks $400 million in damages, alleges a coordinated effort to destroy Baldoni's reputation and career. This legal battle has become one of the most high-profile disputes in Hollywood, involving allegations of workplace misconduct, media collusion, and a behind-the-scenes smear campaign. Background. What started the legal feud? The dispute began during the production of It Ends With Us, a film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. Baldoni, who was both starring in and directing the movie, was accused by Lively of fostering a hostile work environment. According to Lively, Baldoni made inappropriate remarks and created an uncomfortable atmosphere on set. These allegations soon made their way into the media, sparking widespread speculation about Baldoni's behavior. Baldoni, however, vehemently denied these claims and accused Lively of fabricating them to gain leverage in Hollywood. He further alleged that Lively orchestrated a media campaign to paint him as problematic, using her influence to shape the narrative against him. The New York Times defamation lawsuit, $250 million. As the controversy grew, the New York Times published a report that appeared to validate Lively's claims. The article detailed alleged incidents of misconduct by Baldoni, citing anonymous sources and internal communications. In response, Baldoni filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the publication, arguing that 1. The article was based on false or misleading information, selectively using evidence to fit Lively's narrative. 2. Context was deliberately omitted, making Baldoni appear guilty without providing his side of the story. 3. The Times colluded with Lively, effectively serving as a mouthpiece for her accusations. Baldoni claimed that the publication's actions had caused irreparable damage to his reputation, resulting in lost professional opportunities and financial losses. The amended $400 million lawsuit. Shortly after filing against the New York Times, Baldoni expanded his legal action, filing a separate lawsuit seeking $400 million against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan. This new complaint accuses them of 1. Civil extortion. Baldoni claims that Lively, Reynolds, and Sloan pressured him into silence, threatening to release damaging but false allegations unless he complied with their demands. 2. Defamation. He alleges that the trio knowingly spread false and misleading information to tarnish his reputation, using their industry connections and media influence. 3. Invasion of privacy. Baldoni asserts that personal communications were leaked or manipulated to paint him in a negative light. Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, a deep dive. Actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni has significantly escalated his legal battle with actress Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, accusing them of defamation, civil extortion, and invasion of privacy. The lawsuit, which now seeks $400 million in damages, alleges a coordinated effort to destroy Baldoni's reputation and career. This legal battle has become one of the most high-profile disputes in Hollywood, involving allegations of workplace misconduct, media collusion, and a behind-the-scenes smear campaign.